everybody, and welcome to the Zelda Cast here on ZeldaDungeon.net. My name is Allison Aletha, and today I am joined by Andy Spiteri. How are you doing, Andy?
I'm doing great. That was great.
You're not feeling too hot, so I was like, let me give this a try.
Yeah. No, you did fantastic. I
I
think
feel
people's eardrums will be thanking you today.
like better. I'm not as loud as Andy.
Yes. Yes.
I want to say like whenever I do the intro, I feel like people are like, "Oh, Andy's not going to be on this episode."
I mean, it doesn't make sense. We've literally never done it the reverse before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I woke up with this. I got this wicked headache today.
Mm.
I went to a Halloween party last night, which doesn't actually, I don't think, have anything to do with my headache because I didn't drink at all.
Oh.
But yeah, I woke up with a banger today, and I was like, Al, do you want to do the intro? First take. First take.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well, maybe like in the future we could just switch it back and forth just to throw everybody off.
Maybe we could. Yeah. And just
A
keep
new
people on their
tradition is
toes.
born
Yes.
400 episodes in.
Yes. The Halloween special. How was your Halloween, Al? Your favorite
Um,
holiday of the year?
we were just talking about how I'm like maybe not the biggest Halloween person, but my youngest brother actually had his wedding on Halloween night. So it was a Halloween wedding and it was a lot of fun. Not like I said, Halloween isn't really my thing, so I was like, "Oh, this is okay. I want to do this." But for them, like his wife like loves Halloween and loves like this like
Right.
time of year. So she was so into it. They were both super into it. They looked super cute. The venue was nice. Everybody was dressed up in different Halloween costumes. They had like a contest. It was a lot of fun. Good food, good music. Ember, my niece, she's 2 years old. She was Wednesday. Oh my God, she was so cute and adorable. And she got to give her own little speech to the couple, which was not a lot of words, but anytime she said something, everybody started cheering. So she was like, "Oh." And so she would say one word, and everybody would be like, "Yeah!" And then, like, go quiet. And
Nice.
she'd say another word, "Ah!" And she loved that. So, and then she was not happy when we took the microphone away from her. But overall, it was a really good time. So, um, not really. It was like more wedding, less Halloween. So, I don't know if that really counts as going to a Halloween. I don't know. But, like, it was a fun time.
I
What
think
about
if
you?
you, I
You
think if
said
you
you went to
dressed
a
up,
party.
then you had a Halloween time at
Yeah.
least.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we had a pretty good Halloween. Actually, so the actual Halloween, we didn't really do a whole lot. Obviously, with Link, we couldn't hand out candy this year. Most years we don't, anyways, just because like kids will come up and they're banging on the door and everything
Hmm.
like that. So and he just doesn't do well with that. So, but this year was extra. Extra no trick or treating for us. So
Yeah.
I had like the lights off. Sam was out running errands, and I had like the lights off, and these kids just knock on our door, and there's a sign on our door that says like, "Don't knock, just text or call or whatever if you're coming in." Right, just it
Hmm.
all the time. So these kids knock, and first of all, I'm like, you got to yell trick or treat if you want something, okay? And second of all, I'm like, well, my porch light's not on, so like that's the key signal here, right? For trick or treating. So I had to shoo them away, and then I just got a piece of paper and wrote on it with some Sharpie, and I was like, no candy this year, sorry, happy Halloween, and I taped it on my front door, and like 5 minutes later, these other kids are like knocking and screaming trick or treat at the top of their lungs, and Link is going crazy.
Oh.
And the street for once is like full of kids. And this only lasted for like 15 minutes. After that, there wasn't a single soul. But yeah, I had to shoo them away, and that was our Halloween. We didn't do anything except watch Scooby Doo for the rest of the
Oh.
night, which I'd never seen Scooby Doo the movie.
Oh, like the live action movie?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I thought it was pretty
Very
good
much.
actually.
It's a very much a product of the early 2000s, but it's a very
Yeah,
fun movie. I like the Scooby Doo movie.
I
Um,
quite liked it.
were these kids like too young to read? Like
I
my
mean, yeah,
okay, I'm
probably
giving them
like
I'm giving them some grace. Like they were too young to be situationally aware, see the sign and read. So,
that's right. Yeah,
okay,
no,
I
like
guess.
shade to the kids. I mean, like whatever,
Yeah.
right? But
It's not like they were a bunch of teenagers being jerks, you know?
Yeah, and you know what? I would give Halloween candy to teenagers if they want to trick or treat. Like,
I would too. Yeah,
yeah,
I just wish they would come here and trick or treat. That's
yeah.
what I ever since I bought my house, I was so excited to be like, "Oh, I'm going to get trick or treaters." And literally every year nobody comes here.
It sucks. I was I think I told the story last year, but I was like on the porch. I was on like my front steps last year, like yelling at kids. I was like, I got candy, and I was like, wait a second,
That's not a good look.
should I be doing this? So this year that did not happen. But yeah, I went to a little shindig last night, but just a wicked headache today. So I'm gonna hope that this goes away during the course of the show. But this might not be my best performance today, just for transparency, everybody. I'm sorry.
To be fair, we are the episode eve before a game comes out for us. So,
Yes,
I'm really excited, and I know, like you've said, and like other people like Corey are like, maybe this isn't my most anticipated game, but I'm really excited to have something that we can like
definitely.
continuously talk about.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm super excited about. I'm excited to see the story, and we'll talk more about that in this episode. But yeah, I'm just like every time we have a game come out, I'm like, yes, that means we have at least like 4 or 5 episodes planned out, you know?
Yeah. So let's get into it here today. Let's. So we're like what 4 days away? Is that right from Age of Imprisonment at the time of recording?
Yes.
So
Yep.
we are 4 days away from a new Zelda game coming out, which is just a surreal feeling. And yes, maybe not the most anticipated Zelda game that we've ever had, but it's still a new Zelda game nonetheless.
Hmm.
So we're going to talk about our final hopes and dreams and desires for Age of Imprisonment today, and then we'll just go through some daily debates as well, just kind of answer some questions, give some opinions about the upcoming game. A couple of things that we should talk about before we get to that though, is a surprise announcement. I was surprised by this announcement.
Me too. Actually, maybe not. Oh, I'll talk about it.
Animal Crossing New Horizons Switch 2 edition just announced out of nowhere to no fanfare, and there's also a free update for the regular Switch edition coming out, and there's going to be some Zelda characters that are going to be able to visit your island, namely Minoru and Tulin. And I will say Minoru looks really good as far as we saw in the trailer, but Tulin maybe leaves a little bit to be desired.
It looks like Baby Tulin from Age of Calamity
Yeah,
with his big old head.
it looks like there's some new like costumes and stuff too. You've got the Zelda Tears of the Kingdom costume, the Zonai like shrine little green thing.
Hmm.
Looks like Tri from Echoes of Wisdom is available as well, and a few other things. But like I can't say I'm surprised that this game got a Switch 2 edition. I guess I was just surprised in the manner in which it happened. It was just like a random tweet on a random day
Hmm.
for a game that was like one of the best selling, most celebrated games of the last 10 years.
Hmm.
It seems like there should have been maybe a bit more fanfare behind this. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, like the way they announced it being a little bit more, I don't know, amplified or something, to get the excitement going. Because it is quite a hefty update, not just the Zelda stuff. So here's why I was somewhat not surprised. I want to say about a month ago, there was a lot of murmurs. There was like a lot of excitement. There was a resurgence of Animal Crossing content coming up on social media because there were these rumors that maybe they were in development of the next new game, that
Mm,
we were going to get a direct soon, just an Animal Crossing direct with news. And in my mind, I was like, it has to be a new game because like the last major update was 4 years ago, like literally November 2021.
yeah.
And so to me, I was like, oh, they must be developing the new game. And of course, I don't put a lot of stock into rumors, but sometimes rumors like build from somewhere. They don't just come out of like nowhere sometimes. So like I was like, it's coming from something. I just don't know what exactly. So my thought was new game. So when this popped up, I was like, okay, this is what the murmurs were, about.
Mm,
And so, but the surprise to me is that it's a huge ish update to Animal Crossing. You got like a whole new hotel to explore. You've got new dreamland islands to explore, including different sizes. You have the Switch 2 update, which has a little bit more exclusivity to the updates there. But for the most part, like the free update It's very inclusive. You've got more amiibo compatibility with the Zelda items, the Splatoon items. It's like a pretty hefty update. So that's what took me by surprise, that 4 years after the fact, and I know I've talked about this on the show before, where I'm like, why did they just give up on Animal Crossing? It's such a phenomenal game. It was a lightning in the bottle moment where COVID happened, and so everybody just like gravitated towards this game, sold so many copies. It's like, why did they just give up on it after only 2 years? So this makes sense for an update like this to come out, but it probably should have come out like 2 years ago, to be honest. And maybe they were just waiting for Switch 2. I don't know why, but it's already
even,
like a
even
really
if they were
good.
like, it's just like a random January release.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this could have been something that, not to like say that I don't want the people that bought Animal Crossing to like get this, but it does seem like something that you could have just bundled exclusively into the Switch 2 edition and made kind of a big deal of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I can understand that. And I don't know. It's like really weird. It's really random. I'm not mad at it. I'm kind of
No.
excited to go back into my Animal Crossing island. Maybe they are working on the next game and this is just a holdover. I don't know. I won't get to play this for a minute either, so we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, I think it's really exciting. I know the Animal Crossing community is super stoked about it, and my sister has been playing around with the idea about getting a Switch recently, because she has her baby now and she's kind of stuck at home and she wants something to kind of do besides just watch TV.
Right.
And she was like, maybe I could play the Animal Crossing game. And so I told her, I was like, it's getting an update for the first time in 4 years. Now's the time.
There you
She's
go.
like, I don't know, it's expensive.
There
I'm
you
like,
go.
so are babies. So, and you got one of those.
Did it? Oh, I was gonna say, actually, this is so this is just like free, right? Like you don't have to. It's not like something that you need NSO for.
The I would have to look into the details again, but the Switch 2 update is just like the other updates to other games. I'm
I
pretty sure
see.
it's going to have a $15, $10 to $15 thing on it. You have to buy it from the eShop to get the Switch 2 update.
Right.
E Some new content will be exclusive to Nintendo Switch Online subscribers, like Slumber Island. So yeah, there is going to be some stuff that you need NSO for, which I can already hear people being upset about. But there's always been a lot of NSO content with Animal Crossing, so like to me that's not surprising.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, hey,
Oh, I
it's
forgot about the Lego collaboration. They also have a huge Lego collaboration in this update as well.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Totally forgot about that.
Well, I mean that's fun for the people that want to jump back into Animal Crossing. I wouldn't read too much into this. I think that there's probably still a new Animal Crossing game on the way. This is just kind of like a placeholder, but yeah, we'll I guess we'll see if there's any other like updates coming, or if there's any other like, I don't know, like new characters that are coming in. So we'll kind of stay on top of that as it comes. So okay, let's keep going here, and we should talk about, Al, the fallout of Age of Calamity, the Spiteri cut.
You know, was it a Fallout?
There were some. So I'll say this, actually, for a story that admittedly I did think had some. It wasn't as smooth as some other Spiteri cuts I've made, like Metroid Other M. I thought that was an easier thing to do than this one. So I knew that there were definitely some things that we would need to iron out, but I thought that it was, like, for the most part, like, pretty good. I thought that we had like some good discussion, and some people definitely did bring up some issues, that like continuity issues that did make some of the choices that we had a little bit more difficult. Someone brought up Impa, like how would Impa not remember like the like all of these events, and I was like, I don't know. Someone kind of brought
lost.
up, yeah,
She's
or
old.
something. That one stuck out to me as one that I was just like, oh, okay, that would be difficult. There was another one. I'm just going to try and find the comment, actually, but let me see. There was another one, though, that was just kind of like a little bit of a continuity issue as well, which I was just like, I don't have any. Oh, the Sheikah slate being created. Apparently, it was created like in the distant or in the past, and I created it in the future. So I was like, maybe we need to figure something out there. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that like we tried to make it work like pretty well. We had like a lot of good discussion about like what would work, what might need to be tweaked. I think that like um I think that we disagreed on ours, Al, because like you went for a more simplified approach that would eliminate some of the aspects of the story, but I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
keep those because I thought that they were just like true to what made Age of Calamity kind of like Age of Calamity. So, I thought that it was a good episode, and a lot of people, you know what I will say, a lot of people were just like, good work on putting that together because it probably wasn't easy, and you know what, it wasn't actually. It was difficult.
Yeah, a lot of reaching. Make it. I'm sure that wasn't easy to find all those corners that you could reach to, but like, I think you did a good job. I like just because I disagree with some of it, and like, I know that Corey and I are kind of in the same vein with the Zonai stuff. We're like, oh, I don't know about that, but I think I suggested something in the end game where I was trying to keep your like Terrico moment. But I just like I have this aversion to Calamity Aster, and I'm like, no, I don't want that guy because I just feel like he doesn't need to be there. And you could have your final battle with like the Harbinger Ganon in some way. So I made all those suggestions in the Discord if anybody wanted to go and see those. But
Hmm.
yeah, I love when we like kind of have these episodes where we bring up a topic and we're kind of like we kind of discuss it, and then I also get like more time to think about like my feelings and my thoughts about the topic, and then we get to go in Discord and like have more discussion about it and include people in the discussion that
Hmm. Yeah.
about these topics. So like if you guys are wanting to be a part of that, like come and join our Discord because it's like a fun time, especially like I feel like the last 2 to 3 weeks we've been like really cooking
Yeah.
when the episode releases and people are like joining in with their thoughts and giving me more like I feel like really grateful that I have more time to think about it because when you're sitting here in the chair and doing the recording you're like trying to get all your thoughts out eloquently
Yeah.
and sometimes it's hard, so like yeah, I have more thoughts later, so come join us. It's a lot of fun.
Um, there was a clip that caused a lot of controversy that was that ignited our Discord for days with discussion, and the
Hmm.
clip was Allison acting rather untoward, I have to say, and yelling at me about charcuterie.
I
Okay,
love
so
that's on our Patreon, and I love that you on the Patreon description were like only Corey and Allison were saying bad words, and like
it's
literally
true.
within the first no like 5 minutes you're saying like three different bad words, and I was like, you're such a
No,
liar.
no, you think you
Yes.
heard that? Okay,
No, especially what you call charcuterie includes a bad word, Andy.
a couple actually, a couple different variations. I was proud of. Yes. Uh,
So yeah, no,
yeah.
that was a really fun. That was so fun.
Never
That
been a
was
better
free.
time to join
That
the
that's a
Discord.
free clip. It's on our Patreon. So
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, let's move on, and thank you to everybody that chipped away with a couple ideas for the Spaterica. Maybe we'll turn it into an article, and we have like the full thing kind of like
mm,
ready to go. There were definitely some wrinkles that needed to be ironed out. I would freely admit it wasn't
sprinkle
as
in
it wasn't as
time.
perfect as I wanted it to be, but
Mhm.
honestly, the parameters of Age of Calamity don't really allow for a perfect storytelling. Like, there's got to be something somewhere that's
Mhm.
kind of like ugh, if you're gonna stay true to what that game was about. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on to the main course here today, Al, and talk about Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. We are 4 days away, three by the time everybody is listening to this episode. It does kind of feel. Is it just me? But like, it does kind of feel like this game is coming up, and not that there's no fanfare, but just like it doesn't seem like a big November release. You know what I mean? Like the
Mhm.
big Friday release. And I don't know if that's because like there's two pretty big games coming out within like quick succession right after it. I don't know if it's because of the reaction to Age of Calamity. I don't know if it's just because like we haven't seen a lot of gameplay or story in the trailers or anything that I think have been really compelling.
Mhm.
I don't know about what it is, and I don't know if this is just me feeling that. But I mean, we're a couple days away, and yeah, like it's gonna be here before we know it. So we thought that we could go over and talk about a few things that we're wishing and we're hoping that this game does before it comes out. Worth mentioning too that there is a playable demo right now
I
of
was just thinking about that.
Age of Imprisonment over at Best Buy, Walmart, a couple
Hmm.
other retailers. I don't know if this is USA only, but it's out there right now if you want to try it.
I haven't been to one of those stores in a minute, especially since I heard about the demo. I've seen a couple clips of people playing it, but I haven't seen the setup, and it's making me wonder, like, if anybody's seen the setup, is it like the old school 1990s, early 2000s when you go to the game section and they have a controller kind of hanging out, and you look straight up at the TV and you're like playing a demo of some of the like highlighted video games that are coming out? Is
Mm.
that like the vibe? Because somebody tell me, because that as soon as I heard that, it took me back. Like I was having flashbacks of going shopping with my mom and be like, "Can we go to the game section? Can we go to the game section? You know, or the fish section?" Um, I don't know if anybody's Walmart still has like aquariums in there, but they used to have like the fish where you could go buy the beta fish. Anyways, so yeah, if that's the vibe, that's kind of cool. I would love to see that kind of be brought back.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we had an article and it's escaping me off the top of my head, but we had an article on the site and somebody did get to play it and get hands-on impressions. I guess like
Hmm.
for me, I feel like I'm kind of like I already know kind of what I'm gonna get from the gameplay. It's gonna be what it is.
Hmm.
Is it enjoyable? Is it not enjoyable? Yeah, that depends on how much you're really kind of into the Warriors games. I think like this game is going to live and die based on the story for me, and
Hmm.
and I guess
Yeah.
that's a good way to transition into our wants, our final hopes there.
Hmm.
Like this probably sounds too broad, and I will break it down, I guess, in a little bit more granular. But like my final hope is that this game just has a good story. Like um, tell a good story, tell a true story too. Like tell one that is canonical. Like they've doubled down on this canonical business. Like
Hmm.
after Age of Calamity. So like I think if like this game is presents like another parallel universe kind of story. Like, I think just like the credibility for any future Hyrule Warriors games that do present themselves as like a tie-in to the story of whatever Zelda game that they're playing is just like totally gone, right? Like,
Hmm.
I like how could you ever trust that like one of these games is going to be canonical and then for me, for a guy like me that like can take or leave the Warriors gameplay, like if the story isn't bringing you in and you know that it's just going to be this like weird kind of side faux parallel story, you're going to be less inclined to play it. So that's my big hope for the game. Like I think they got to nail the story, and I think they got to nail like the timeline of the story. Like I still want them to do something fun. I want them to do something creative, but like I think that you can't have the same type of shenanigans that you had with Age of Calamity, or else like this franchise to me is like totally dead, and it might as well just go back to like what the first game was, which was just this fan servicey battle royal type of game.
Hmm. I'm completely in the same boat as you. Like, just tell us a true story. I feel like I really liked the story elements of Age of Calamity, outside of them just being like outside of my annoyance of what was like happening, that we were marketed a certain thing and got something else. So, but outside of that fact, I like really liked how they told the story. I felt like all the cutscenes were beautifully like animated, well done, voice
Yeah.
acted. The voice acting like majorly improved after Breath of the Wild into Age of Calamity. In fact, it was like one of the things that kind of pulled me into really enjoying Zelda's character was like Patricia's uh enhanced voice acting of Zelda in Age of Calamity. Like, cuz I was kind of struggling with her in Breath of the Wild.
Hmm.
So, like there was so much that I really enjoyed. I really like how they told a cohesive story even if it was the wrong story. So, I have a lot of hopes that Age of Imprisonment is going to tell like a really good story. I just want it to be true. Like that's my hope. I know they'll tell a good story. It's just I want it to be like something that we know truly happened and not what we got in Age of Calamity. And
Yeah.
I feel like we're kind of broken records saying this because we've been saying it since they announced this game, but like that's how bad Age of Calamity was to us. So
Yeah. I'll go ahead with another hope, and this one we've beaten to death, but I'm gonna bring it up. I I hope that these like characters, like these sage characters, and frankly, like all of the new characters that we're seeing,
mhm.
can win me over. I know,
I think they can.
and
I have a
they
feeling that
might be
they
able
will.
to. Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's not impossible. I just I know when Corey was giving his suggestions for Age of Calamity, the Richmond cut, he was like, "Oh, well, we'd have to introduce new characters. Andy will hate this. Like, go to hell, okay?" But also like,
Is he wrong though?
well, but no, but like, you know what I mean? Like a game like this, I don't feel like a game like Hyrule Warriors is the appropriate place to introduce like a ton of new characters, because for me, and I think for a lot of people, the draw of a game like this is you play as a character you know that that wouldn't have necessarily got a chance to play as, you know, in a mainline Zelda game, and you're just like, oh cool, now I can finally play as Daruk and like go to town on all of these enemies, or like I can play as Marin or whoever from the first game. Like I mean, I think that's the draw, is like playing as all of these characters that you kind of already know and like. So I do think that it's like, for this game, I think like so many new characters, I do think it's kind of a tall ask of like players to be like, okay, you know nothing about any of these guys, but like here you go, like you're gonna start to do all these levels as them, right? Like I guess like it's kind of like Super Smash Bros in a sense, where like, yeah, like a lot of the characters are really great and fun to play as, but like if you have a game with like all these made up new characters, or you have a game with Mario and Pikachu and Donkey Kong and Samus, like you're gonna gravitate towards the ones you know already, right? Like, and so that's kind of where I'm saying like so many new characters in this game. I feel like it's a tall ask of the game to like really win over people to play as them. So it's not that I hate introducing new characters. I don't. It's just like there's so many in this game where I think like that connection is fairly critical. So I hope that the new characters can win me over. Like I'm excited to play as Raru. I think that'll be cool.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I don't know right now that I'm all that stoked to play as like a lot of the other guys, if I am speaking my truth here.
Hmm. I know that I've brought up like different maybe counter arguments to this subject with you in the past. I have a different one maybe today, where when we were initially seeing the announcement of this game and we were debating who the playable characters were going to be, and we were like, well, who all is there? Like, how do you rack up this roster? Because we knew of like Zelda, Raru, Minoru, potentially Sonya, potentially Ganondorf. Like,
Yeah.
obviously they're going to be playable characters, but we were just assuming. And these new sages, like, how do you stack up the roster? And it looks like they're finding the answer to stack up the roster. And so, like, I guess my question to you is just like, how do we solve the problem of they need a bigger roster? To me at the time I was like, maybe they don't need a bigger roster, and you're like, yeah, they definitely do.
I still would
Besides giving
maintain
us
that.
these new
Yeah.
characters, because like who else can be there, you know, unless they're doing the same shenanigans as Age of Calamity, so they could build up the
Yeah.
roster and have the new champions there, etc. So like,
Yeah.
how do you solve that problem, Andy, of like you
Well,
have to
that
introduce new characters?
you're right, and I think that's why this game, to me, is coming in kind of cold, because like you couldn't just have like a roster of 5 characters, but like
Hmm.
there's really no way to introduce all. The only possible way that I think you could have done this, and why I was so on board and hot about this, I do think if you would have made the sages like Naboru, Darunia, whatever, obviously, like, yes, these are basically new characters and it's kind of a fan servicey name, but it's a fan servicey type kind of game. Like I
Hmm.
think that's the one of the only ways that you really could have gotten away with it, is this very subliminal connection that Zelda fans might have to past characters, kind of like what they did with Raru. Because I mean, I'll speak for me. Like I felt a little bit more connected to Raru than I might have otherwise if he was just a new character. Just because I was like, oh, that's cool. It's this version's Raru. But there's no good answer to your question. Like the answer is Tears of the Kingdom should have set these characters up.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like I
Yeah.
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
And I can see your solution fixing four of the problems, but we still potentially have four other characters that I
Yeah,
think are
you're
going to be
right.
playable for each race. You have oh no, I already forgot my new favorite character's name. Starts with the
Oh,
attendant.
yeah.
Lenara?
Leanna, something like that.
Leanna? Something. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Somebody fix me. And then, so you have it like at least five that we know of, and then you have Calamo, and then you have the Construct. These are all new people to us. So like,
Yeah.
I really don't think like your solution is fine for four of the players, but like this was just gonna happen, and that's what I've been expecting from the beginning. So I'm not as like I don't feel as strongly about this subject as you do.
Well, and sure, that's fair. I guess for me, I'm just like four of the principal main characters. I think if you solution that like that, that's a lot less of a burden for this game to carry. I feel like because if you just introduce Kalamo and you're like, oh, maybe this guy's the future Deku Tree, maybe he's not. And then you introduce like this mysterious construct. Like I think like you can have like some characters that you get to know during the course of the game. I think that's fine. I just think like when it's like almost every character, that's what makes it a little bit tougher, you know? And like I think you're right. Like I think there's like I was gonna say like a lackey, like a second in command for each race. So there's like
That's
a
what I was
second,
thinking, like a quote unquote sidekick, you know?
like I have no idea what they're gonna do with those guys, but I feel like even less like excited for them than I do for the other characters. Now that being said, like it's my hope for the game that the game could tell a good story and somehow in some way kind of like have that win me over, and I don't think that's like impossible. Like they can still do it. I can't sit here and lie and say like I'm really stoked to be playing as potentially 10 characters that we have no idea who they are, and like listen, I'm not against new characters in Zelda game, but I just to reiterate, I think for a game like this, Hyrule Warriors, this is where you want like established characters. I think for me, I think that works much better than having a roster of like new people that you're trying to get over, to use a wrestling term.
Linalia is her name.
Linalia.
Okay. I
Do you think
fixed
she's
myself.
like, is she a playable character? I just kind of thought she was in the background.
She might just be in the background. She
Yeah.
could be a playable character. I have a feeling like when you when it comes to Hyrule Warriors, when you're introducing characters into a game, they're playable. That's just how it's kind of always been with Hyrule Warriors. So we'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
And she's gonna be like kind of the Impa vibe, and Impa was playable in the last game. Well, actually, the last two games there was an Impa. So, let me go on with one of my hopes, and this is something we've talked about before, and I would like us to branch out from the gameplay, the specifically hack and slash gameplay, and have a little bit more exploratory gameplay. We've suggested maybe in between like levels where you're in a specific area, maybe you can kind of walk around, see like what's going on, maybe find some Koroks, maybe like see some bloopies, maybe who knows, just like something that's a little bit gives the players a little bit more oomph because they might not like the Hyrule Warriors or the Warriors in general format, which I totally understand. Like I get that. I like the format, but I can see that it's like a grind and excessive and repetitive. So I would just like a little bit more. And with that, I want it to help us explore ancient Hyrule like a lot more because there's all these like hints and areas and stuff where you're exploring in Tears of the Kingdom and they're like, oh, there's some history here, or there's all these like abandoned mines in the depths, and I want to be able to like see that stuff just like we did in Age of Calamity, where they gave us like the Great Plateau before it was destroyed, Hyrule Castle Town before it was destroyed, like all these villages before they were like decimated. I want more of that, but to be able to just like calmly explore them without fighting happening. I think that would be a really good addition to a game like this.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. I think like finding the Koroks was one of the more interesting parts of Age of Calamity. Like just let you do something a little bit different. I guess to go off that, like one of my hopes is that there is something like in the actual map too that you can do, and I think that there will be. I guess I'm kind of hoping that it's not like Koroks, but I don't know what else it would be. But I
Hmm.
think that we've like I just think we've exhausted Koroks. You know, like
Yeah, I can understand
we
that.
got them in Breath of the Wild and Tears and Age of Calamity. I mean, I think we'll probably get Koroks here again. Man, that's a lot of Korok hunting. You know.
It is. I can't even count how many Koroks I've hunted at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I can understand that, but like at the same time, I don't know what else there is
I don't
in
know
this
either.
world.
Yeah.
Maybe like it'd be kind of fun to with these different like regions that we know in tiers that we can see are gonna happen in Age of Imprisonment, which is like the depths, um, like the sky, etc. Like being able to go to a spot on the map and like dive into the depths
Yeah.
ourselves and like join the fray, that would be really cool. Or like, are there going to be some caves to explore? Because I really love the cave system in tiers, so feel like that would be fun to explore some caves. Yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of stuff that I liked about tiers that I'm not saying I need another Breath of the Wild Tears level game. It'd just be cool if there were specific sections that we could go explore.
I don't know if I'm holding my breath for a lot of exploration, to be honest, but
Hmm.
we'll see. You know, I'll give one more thing that I'm hoping for here, and I hope that Age of Imprisonment trims some of the fat from Age of Calamity. I thought Age of Calamity was like way too big, like there were way too many missions. Um,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I think that there was just like I don't know. Probably some people love this, like so maybe I'll just speak for me. But like I think like a game like this, like kind of less is more. You know, like
Hmm.
especially due to the nature, like the repetitive nature of the combat. I think less is more. Like make the levels more interesting and the set pieces more interesting, and like some of the side levels you can like quickly blitz through. I thought that Age of Calamity felt like it took a long time. I'm not gonna be yeah, I guess like I guess I'm just coming in where like I'm not like the game certainly hasn't grasped me, and if it's gonna keep me, I don't want a bunch of stuff that I'm like, oh, okay, now I got to do this and this and this and this to get to like
Hmm.
the actual next level. So I think that Age of Calamity was in a better position to have more content because it had like more characters that you kind of cared about and had established relationships with. This one for me, I just kind of want to get to the meat and potatoes here of what we're doing.
I find this a little bit funny because, and I know you haven't played Hyrule Warriors in full or maybe at all. Hyrule Warriors is so stupidly
I
massive.
know.
Like the main campaign plus all the different maps. People who 100% that game, like people who say I 100% Breath of the Wild a few times that I'm nuts. No, people who 100%ed Hyrule Warriors at least once are nuts. Okay, that game is just so stupidly big with all the DLC and the extra maps and stuff. So to me, Age of Calamity, I was like, whoa, this is so nice that I could
Hmm.
100% this easily. Like it doesn't it's not that big of an undertaking as compared to the original Hyrule Warriors game. So to me, I get what you're saying because that was like your Warriors game, whereas mine was the first one. So I'm just like the opposite,
To
where I'm
be
like
to
I'm
be
okay
clear,
with the length of Age of Calamity. I thought it was great.
like I played the first Hyrule Warriors enough to know that I just like didn't like it. I probably had 20 hours maybe, and I was just
Hmm.
like, this
Did you
is
like finish the main campaign or no?
no, no.
Okay, yeah.
But I was just like I hate this. I hated the
Hmm.
gameplay. I thought that it was lacking purpose. I thought the story was lame. So that one to me was like a total write off. Where like Age of Calamity, I thought was at least like something I could play and finish. But I can't say that that I thought it was like the appropriate length. I think like these games, like the nature of these games just require the less is more approach for a player
Hmm.
like me. And I know that there's like some players that want to go and, you know, do crazy stuff and get the hundo and all that kind of whatever, but like I just for me, I guess I don't want that, and like, I guess I could just skip the some of the side content. Like, you don't necessarily have to do it, but I
Hmm.
don't know. I just kind of think like again, like if you take out like 30 missions and just make like the rest of the missions like a little bit better each, I'm taking that.
Hmm. I have a hope that maybe, I don't know if, I wonder if people will agree with, or it might be a hot take. I don't know. I don't know if I want DLC for this game. I feel like we didn't get DLC for Tears, because for some reason they're like, we're satisfied with the story that we told. We don't need to add to it.
Hmm.
I'd feel okay if they did that with this game. I'd be like, maybe we don't need to add more to it. I feel like I'll be content with what they give us as long as it's true and canon, right? Um, and then I'm okay with moving on because I'm starting to get to that point. I know a lot of people have already been at this point, but I'm like really starting to feel it where they're done with this era of Zelda.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to learn more about ancient Hyrule and like the stuff from the past and Tears. Like I'm excited about that, but I think I have reached a point where I'm like, okay, I'm happy to tie a bow on this and move on.
Yeah. I I think like I wouldn't be opposed to DLC, but I wouldn't be opposed to not having it either.
Hmm.
Because like you're gonna get some people out there that are just like, well, this game is paid DLC for Tears of the Kingdom, and like
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot, and you know what?
Yeah.
Like I can't necessarily sit here and say that that's a bad faith comment. Like they're giving you a canon story in a completely separate game. That's not really a sequel. I guess it's kind of a prequel, but I don't know. I don't think it's like completely off base to say that, but I mean, if the DLC is cool, then I would check it out. But I certainly would want that to kind of come quickly because I think by like E3 or not E3 but like the big summer direct for this year, in 2026, right? Like I
Mhm.
think you should announce your new Zelda game, like your new big
Yeah.
3D Zelda game, and I think it should be different. And I think you want to have like a bow on anything related to the era wild of games by that point. So if you're gonna do DLC, like get it out before the summertime.
Okay.
Is my thought.
That's fair. I agree with you though that I'm ready for them to start announcing like the next new thing.
Yeah.
Which like they kind of started with Echoes, but we're still in this wild area or era. So yeah, I don't know. I'm ready to move on.
I think so.
Yeah.
Um, any final hopes for Age of Imprisonment a week or so out?
I don't know if this is so much like a hope or like the thoughts that I'm having, but I'm like I've been really excited and focused on the what is it, the sync strike thing? How they're gonna like I'm hoping that you like have to build relationships with these characters in order to get that power move. Like, does that make sense? That maybe that's my hope.
You're
Like,
you're describing like similar like a similar bond forming in Hades too.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
it doesn't
Like,
impact like your gameplay, but I know what you mean.
I want to work for that sync strike. I want the like. So, for example, I keep thinking of the one with the Rito Sage. What's his name?
Who
Rafika,
knows?
Rafiki. Um, with he like does this thing where he takes her hand and he spins her in a dance and then they attack.
Yeah.
And I think like it looks so graceful and cool, but I want their relationship to be like they have to find some sort of bond in order to be able to unlock that attack. So I want that to happen with all the characters. Like you can't perform this sync strike unless you have a specific bond with these characters. And I think that will help your case where you're like, I want to be able to connect with these characters.
Hmm.
So like maybe that's like how you do it is you have to build bonds with them and friendship points or something. I think that would be a really cool extra mechanic to this game.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I feel like oh god, I hate saying this because I know I sound like Debbie Downer here. I feel like for me, like gameplay, I'm just like whatever, just make it like passable so that I can get the story, and that's all I want. So like the combo strikes and stuff like that, I'm just kind of like, sure, if they're there, like I'll use them, but like I just like I can't say I'm like super jazzed to like physically play this game. I
Hmm.
kind of want to play it to get to like the next story beat or the next cutscene or something like that. So make the gameplay just like good enough to get me to my destination. And I will say this too because I don't want to be Debbie Downer. Like I'm coming into
Hmm.
it with a little bit of a tempered excitement level, but that should make it easy for the game to surpass that, right? Like it should make it easier for
The bar
Age
is
of
in
Impri-
hell for
That's
Andy. So
right.
very.
It's low.
I
It's
mean,
low.
it's so funny because like when sometimes we talk about this, like especially Pokemon right now, right? With Legends ZA. And I'm like, some of the stuff I don't care about because I'm here for the Pokemon. The
Yeah.
Pokemon battling is super fun. And you're like, but this is like a multi-billion-dollar company. Like, why are our standards so low? And I'm just like, why are your standards for the gameplay of this game so low? Like, isn't there something you
Hmm.
like really want to like amplify the gameplay so you're at least enjoying playing it while you're waiting for the story to happen?
I mean, like, I mean, I guess I would just say this, Al, because I think that's a fair like question. And to go to your Pokemon point, I'm just more so talking about like the overall production of the game. Like,
Hmm.
I think the game looks like I think Age of Imprisonment looks great. Like, it looks
Hmm.
great. It by all accounts, it looks like it runs great. Like, so I'm not concerned about like the level of polish or anything like that. I just like the core gameplay of these Warrior games is it's kind of like for me like yeah, you know what I mean. It's like a means to an end. Like it's not my preferred type of game. I'll play it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to. So like as long as the gameplay can like meet me halfway and just be like decent, I think that's
Hmm.
fine enough for me. Like I don't know. I mean, I haven't played enough of these types of games to like really say like what would augment the games to be better for me. My answer would be like a different type of game. Like
Hmm.
but obviously that's not on the table. So I feel like it's a fair point, but it's kind of I feel like a little bit different because like we're talking about the raw gameplay. That one I think like it would be more appropriate to say like the gameplay of Pokemon Legends wasn't very fun and like that's what I'm upset about. But that
Hmm.
wasn't the case because the gameplay was awesome. It was like the presentation that was a little bit lacking. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I guess like just I don't know, just do the gameplay thing, make it fun enough or like new enough stuff that like it doesn't feel kind of like a slog doing all these missions a couple times over. Like I said, my bar is like at the ground right now, so I can be pleasantly surprised by whatever they do.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, there we go. Okay, well we have time for a few questions here from our writing team, Al. So I think that we should get to it and answer a few of these before we get out of here. And then of course we'll be back next week with our early impressions of Age of Imprisonment. So yeah, we'll go over and we'll answer a few of these. So let's go here and we'll start off. What about this daily debate, Al? This is from Daisy Crossfield. Is Age of Imprisonment's boisterous Korok Kalamo a young, great Deku tree? What do you think?
I think we've talked about this a little bit, and it's one of those things where like there's some context clues where it's like it's not so far out of the realm of impossibility. Is that the phrase I'm trying to say? Whatever I'm trying to
Yeah,
say. Like, yeah, I think it's possible. Like I'd be interested in something like that, and I think that would be fun. Now, of course, if we like see them go to the Great Deku Tree as on a mission, like that, obviously that's out of
right.
the running. But
Yeah.
why not? I think that's fun. That's another one of your theories where I'm like, okay, I could totally see that happening. Like, there's only
Yeah.
a few of your theories where I'm like, all right, maybe.
Um, yeah, I think that you know what? I will say this. I think the intrigue of that question has at least kind of made this little Korok Kalamo one of the more easily to get behind new characters, right? Like I think that
Hmm.
is at least for me has made a little bit of intrigue and a little bit of just like I don't know something to this character that the others don't necessarily have. I think it would be like kind of a cool touch. You never seen like the origin of the Great Deku Tree before, right? Like why not? So
Hmm.
yeah, I think that could be something, and maybe something along the course of the game, just kind of like powers this Korok above all other Koroks and makes him grow and turn into this wise Deku Tree. So yeah, I have no problem with that theory. I feel like I don't know. I feel like if it's not, then what is the significance of this character? Because like there's no
Hmm.
Hestu or anything like that here. This is kind of your I'm assuming going to be your fill-in for a Hestu type of character. I think I would give him like something to make him a little bit more of a unique character with stakes. So yeah, I'm for it.
Maybe he's kind of like in Ocarina of Time when the Deku Tree dies, and then there's just like this new sapling.
Yeah,
in when you
exactly.
are an adult. Maybe it's kind of like that, where like the old Deku tree that's been there forever, is like has passed or is passing, and or maybe this little guy is on his like trials to become the next new Deku tree or something. Like, I don't know. I feel like that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Okay, let's go on. This is from Nick Miller. And I'm just pulling daily debates that are Age of Imprisonment focused here. So this is from a few weeks ago. But Nick asks, is Age of Imprisonment the Zelda game the Switch 2 needs right now?
My instant thought was like, no.
That was my instant thought too. I have some fantasy booking here, actually. Are you ready?
Okay.
If it were me, this is what I would have done. If this was possible, okay? So like let's put that asterisk there, but if this was possible, I would have released I would have switched the release date of Age of Imprisonment and Echoes of Wisdom. I would have had Age of Imprisonment come out last year in September,
Uh-huh.
and it would have been for the Switch one. And I would have kicked off the first new Zelda game on the Switch 2. Not a big 3D Zelda game. I think that all of us think that that's still a few years away. But I would have had a brand new Zelda game, 2D Zelda game, where you play as Princess Zelda, could take advantage of the Switch 2's features. And I think that would have been a bigger deal in this November time slot than Age of Imprisonment is right now. I
Hmm.
think it would have, and it would have put a nice bow on the wild era of games.
Hmm.
Say that four times. The wild era of games on the Switch, like on the Switch, like it would have put that bow there. Whereas you could start the Switch 2 off with like a new adventure, new kind of setting. Like yes, you have the same art style as Link's Awakening, but I think it would have meant a little bit more. I think I would have done that if possible, and all the stars like shaped up for that to be feasible.
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying, especially like timeline wise. I just don't know if that would have been a good idea because I feel like one of the things that they were really were trying to push, with Age of Imprisonment that I saw in their initial talks about it when it was announced, is like the Switch 2's capability of like these hordes of monsters where it's like you're gonna have more, they're gonna be like not as laggy, the like graphics are just gonna be so much better than what the limited capabilities that they had with Age of Calamity. Like I feel like that was their focus for Age of Imprisonment,
Hmm.
at least based on like the tech side that they were talking about again back when it was first announced. So I get what you're saying, but I feel like they had to have this come out on the Switch too. Like they just had to. I don't know if like you could have the Switch 2 edition come out a year later, sure, but I just feel like that was something they were working towards, was like the better graphics.
Let me counter your counter with a counter, Al.
Wow.
Um, I think there was one too many counters
Such
there.
an Andy statement that just
I
happened.
just I guess my here's my question to you, broadly, and listeners can weigh in on this, but like if this game came out and looked exactly like Age of Calamity and performed exactly like Age of Calamity, like does anybody care? Like is that fine enough for anybody? Like is anybody really like, wow, this game looks really great on the Switch 2 as compared to Age of Calamity on the Switch? Like is that like a selling point of this game? Does anybody care if like you could fit more monsters with like less lag time? Maybe they do, but like for me, like I certainly don't. I'm like, you could give me literally a game that looks, runs, smells, feels like Age of Calamity, get a new story, new playable characters, call it Age of Imprisonment, and that's fine for me.
Hmm. Um, I feel like I care. Because it's one of those things where you want a series to evolve, and let's just pretend like this is a separate series from Zelda, which it kind of is, but like it's like a separate being. And if you have like each game just kind of looking the same as the last, and when you know that there's like better capabilities out there or that better capabilities are coming, because we've been talking about the Switch 2 for like the last 3 years, right?
Hmm.
I feel like I would have been like, oh man, it just kind of like smells, looks, and is the same as Age of Calamity, and it has some of the same like limitations. Whereas now I know that it's gonna play like maybe we could do a comparison and like play them side, like see the side by side and just see how much better it's going to be, because I just feel like this is such a good game for the Switch 2 because of like the better capabilities. I don't know. I feel like I would care.
Okay, well, and that's fair. I guess to me, like I clearly don't, and I guess like maybe I'll just say this as a counterpoint again. Like I think like the Switch one had one of the single greatest first year of a new console like ever. There was just like
It
so
was
many
such a good year.
awesome games. I would not say that about the Switch 2.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
really think that this has been a little bit of
Oh
a
yeah,
tough go so far.
going back to the original question.
Yeah.
Um, no, I don't think this is a Zelda game like that the
Yeah.
Switch 2 has been waiting for. Like, I don't think this is it. I think the next mainline Zelda title is going to be that Zelda game for the Switch 2.
Yeah. And you know what? By the time we get out of the first year, like you're going to have Metroid Prime 4, you're going to have Age of Imprisonment, Donkey Kong Bonanza is really great. It's not like it was like a bust of a first
Right.
year, but it certainly wasn't like a Switch level first year. And I guess for me, I'm just like thinking like, man, having a new top-down Zelda game where you play as Princess Zelda, I think really adds to that first year a lot more
Mm-hmm.
than Age of Imprisonment does.
Mm-hmm. Fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So, interesting question though. Like, I'd be curious to hear other people's thoughts. We'll go over to Sean, and Sean asks, should future Hyrule Warriors storylines be divorced from or separate from mainline Zelda games? Well, I think Age of Imprisonment is going to answer this question for us, because Age of Calamity was not supposed to be divorced from Breath of the Wild. That was the selling point of the game, like to see what
Mm-hmm.
happened. And then it ended up being completely separate, which I think like if you would market it like that, the interest in that game is like drastically reduced, right? Like, and I think if
Mm-hmm.
you marketed Age of Imprisonment as like a what if sidebar alternate reality story, interest is down. So like, I think that's why it's so important. Like Age of Imprisonment, I think it like kind of has to be like tied to the main story, or else like yeah, all of these future Hyrule Warrior games, even if they aren't, are you're gonna have people that have been burned twice now and just be like, oh well, these are just like parallel story spin-offs, like they have nothing to do with the main Zelda game. And I think that hurts a game like this, because I don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily think I'm alone in the fact that like I don't love the gameplay, but I'll play it because I want the story that goes along with it, you know what I mean? So like
Mm-hmm.
I think if you get into this space now where you have told your audience and conditioned them twice now that like we say that this is part of the story, but it's actually not. It's like part of this like side, like what if kind of a scenario. I think that's like a big detriment to these games. I don't know how you feel about that, Al.
I feel like I interpret Sean's question like, should we have more Hyrule Warriors games like the original, or should they continue with this formula of like, say, the next big era of
Yeah.
Zelda starts, and then they have a spin-off, Hyrule Warriors spin-off off of that? And I feel like yes is going to be my answer, because we have with the original Hyrule Warriors, I feel like that's its own thing, and I don't know how well doing something like that
Yeah.
again would be. I don't know, because it was so big. It had so many playable characters. It had like its own little story where
Yeah.
they did all this dimensional travel to bring all these characters together, and like it made sense in this Hyrule Warriors bubble. So like, how do you have another Hyrule Warriors that's in its own bubble that isn't linked to an era of Zelda, that isn't like, not to say that the first one wasn't linked to other eras of, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
part of it's really hard to explain.
I,
But
I know
like,
what you're saying. Like you have to go like 10 years between games because like that's when your refill where you have like enough new
which
characters to
to be
make a
fair, we
new.
are 10 years from that. We're 11 years from that original Hyrule Warriors. That came out in September 2014.
Well, maybe it needs to be longer than 10 years because I still don't think you could do like a like straight up sequel like Hyrule Warriors did because like I just don't know. Maybe you do have enough characters, but if that's the question, then my answer is like a definitive no. Like I think that these
Yeah,
games
you
should
need
be
to have
tied
it.
to games.
Yes, that's how I interpreted the question.
Yeah,
And I feel like that is something that the Warriors franchise is doing, because you have the other ones like Fire Emblem, or there's other games where they're like tied to, like, you have the three houses, whatever. Anyways, like that's just what they're doing now, and I feel
yeah,
like that's a good formula to have. I feel like that's fair. And then maybe in 20 years, like 2034, that's when you bring up your next big like side Hyrule Warriors, not linked to anything, but kind of brings in everybody in this big royal thing. I don't know,
yeah,
but it's too soon for the next like Hyrule Warriors, because it was so big and had so many characters, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah. I I don't know. I think like this Age of Imprisonment game, like your interpretation of the question is probably the right way, but I feel like to go back to my point, like if Age of Imprisonment doesn't kind of stick the landing here, I think that like all of these games are gonna be viewed as like these weird spin-off games, whether they want to be or not. So like
Mm-hmm.
that I feel like is a really important for Age of Imprisonment to like really kind of nail down
Yeah.
the story here. Okay,
Yeah.
this is from Brandon. Which lore related mysteries do you hope Age of Imprisonment answers? Al, what do you think?
um, Lore related mysteries. I would like to know what happened to the Zonai that only Rauru and Minoru are left. I
Hmm.
want to know what's going on with all the ancient mines in the depths, like what like caused them to be abandoned or left. Is it because of like the basic extinction of the Zonai race? I want to know about those different race statues that you have in the depths that lead to you to different areas and they're connected with the races up on the surface. Like, I would like to know if we're back in time enough to even know about those guys. So, stuff like that, where it's like we had all these indications of past civilizations in Tears of the Kingdom, and I want to know if it was the Zonai and it like even thousands of years before this point of ancient Hyrule, like what was going on. Maybe Rauru can be like there was a war and we're basically extinct now or something. I don't know. Just like a little bit more information on where the Zonai came from and that kind of thing.
Right. Um, I don't have anything like actually off the top of my head here. I think like just maybe like more detail about like the founding of Hyrule would be cool. The Zonai was one that I was kind of curious about, like what happened to them. Is there a chance maybe that there's some more left?
Hmm.
Yeah, I think like I would be. I know you're gonna barf, but like I would be really interested to hear like about the origin of the secret stones and like the dragon. Like
I'm okay with
actually,
that.
the three dragons. I would love to know like what the
Yes.
deal with these three dragons is. I thought that was like such a shoe-in for Tears of the Kingdom. Like DLC looked like a
Yeah.
really good option to explain that because it was such a
Right.
dragon focused game. I was like, well,
Right.
surely we're gonna learn about the three dragons. So I maybe still like I would hang my hat on that a little bit, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I can't say that there's anything like a mystery that I want explained. It's more so just like I want that cool story and like the kind of the bow on the imprisoning war.
Yeah. I'm totally on board if we saw some the dragon lore stuff because again, I'm excited for it and I want it. I just disagree with how you think it's going to happen.
We're gonna see the
And
three
like
goddesses. Okay, they're
what
all gonna be
no, I'm
there.
again, I'm like that's kind of how I feel like the dragons are. It's just like they're not there in that time and space.
Yeah.
If we learn more about like say Zelda's on her journey to be like how do I do this draconification thing and she learns history of the dragons so that Corey and I and our inference of information is proven correctly to you, then like that would be cool.
Hmm. Um, how about this one, Al? Here we go. This is from Branwyn. How can Age of Imprisonment pad out the roster if it's a canonical tale? This is from October the 1st, by the way. So this is before we got the character names of the sages. We had like the mysterious construct and the Korok kind of like in the game at that point, but not necessarily confirmed. But I'll read off really quickly here. If you're playing along at home, that tally gives us an upper limit of 15 characters to play with. So all of the characters that we know, the four sages, their four like sidekicks, and then like Rauru, Sonya, Zelda, everything like that. 15 characters to play with. This is a fairly respectable total, as Age of Calamity had 21 warriors on the roster, and the vanilla Hyrule Warriors ended up with a whopping 29 characters. All
Hmm.
of these casts include original characters, some baddies, and a host that were originally NPCs and support characters. So, I mean, that's the question, isn't it? It's one of the questions for me. Is like, how do you just pad out this roster? I have a way that you could do it. You would hate it. You would hate it,
Yeah.
but
I know
you
I would. I already can tell I would.
you could if you wanted to, and you could do this and have the game still be canonical. But like, you could have like chapters that were set in the present with like
Hmm.
Yunobo and Riju and stuff like
I don't
that.
hate that. I
I
agree.
don't
So
love it, but
I want to say that we talked about this daily debate initially when it came out, probably on one of our DD episodes. And because at the time I was just like, I don't really know. I feel like at 15 is enough for me. And you were like, no, we definitely need more because like, how do you garner interest and how do you get all these levels, etc. And I was like, okay, I kind of see your point. And then I think we discussed this idea where it's like maybe you have the split timeline where you have some stuff in the present where Link is doing some quests, the new sages are doing some quests, and I feel like I'm okay with that as long as they stay separate, you know?
Yeah,
So I don't hate
you
that.
could do it. I guess I would just be like, eh, to that, like,
Yeah.
because like presumably, well, maybe not actually, but presumably this is like post game Tears of the Kingdom, right? If that happens, maybe there's a way they could actually make like a cool post game, and I'd be like, yeah, sweet, like this is really cool. I'm gonna go so far as to say, and like, oh, I get it, okay, but like if you did some chapters in the present, I would even be okay if somehow in some way there was some time travel nonsense and the people from the past came up to the present just to get everybody in like one kind of room, so to speak, after Tears of the Kingdom is over. So that from that point, there's no canonical anything to be concerned about there. I wouldn't like absolutely hate that, but I wouldn't love it either. I don't know. I'm just like,
I feel like if it comes to anything time travel that's disrupting what we already know, I'm like not interested in it anymore. Now,
no, neither
if
am
we
I.
have,
That's why I'm saying it has to be post, like after Tears of the
yeah,
Kingdom is
maybe that's
over.
the DLC that we probably will get that I don't really
Maybe.
need. But like, I feel if we have another game in the future where there's time travel and I'm like, okay, this time travel is an integral part of the story in the game that we don't know, it's just happening, like something like Ages or Ocarina of Time, cool. I'm cool with it. But I am so opposed to time travel now, like in Zelda at least because of what happened with Age of Calamity, like no
I
more
mean,
time travel in these Hyrule Warriors games. I'm over it. I don't want
I
it.
hate to tell you, like Tears of the Kingdom is a pretty time travel based game.
Yeah, for Zelda. And like I said, it's something that we know, like because that's the story. I'm saying if it's something in the situation of Age of Calamity again where it's like they told us, oh, this is what happened in the past of Breath of the Wild, and then all of a sudden you're doing time travel to change what actually happened in the past of Breath of that's what I'm opposed to. I'm like, I'm over it. I don't want that anymore. Don't give me that
And
kind
they
of time
better not
travel
do that.
garbage.
Like I think if they do that, it's just like. But I guess what I'm saying is like I could see that, and I'm trying to think of a way where if they do it, it's not like the absolute worst, and so that's probably the way.
I
I
mean,
wouldn't be like
you're right
opposed.
though. Like it is time. Like Zelda has time travel powers,
Yeah,
and she still has her secret stone, as far as I know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the end cutscene, the last cutscene when you save Zelda, she has her secret stone still.
I think so.
So,
I could see
I
Zelda
mean, she
going back and
could
forth,
do
maybe.
something crazy with time
Yeah.
travel, and if it happens post Tears, like you said, that I'd probably be okay with it. But it
We
like
could live with it. How about that, right? Like,
I'm gonna say like my shoulders are up to my ears just at the thought of it. Like,
I know. Listen, I'm with you, and I'm not advocating for it. I just, if it's gonna happen, that's how I would want it to happen. Like,
yeah, I agree
bring
that I
people
would
up,
want it
and
to
after
be
the story is done.
exactly. I agree. That's how I'd want it to.
Yeah, and like maybe that way, like you could get Link as a playable character too. Like,
Could yeah.
yeah,
She like brings a construct to the future or something.
maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Who
Um,
knows?
we'll see. Let's do like one or two non Age of Imprisonment daily debates, then we'll get out of here.
Okay.
This is from Jeff. Should Twilight Princess remake emulate the Wii U tech demo graphics?
No. I don't feel like I have a lot to say about that. No, I'm over the tech demo graphics conversation.
I actually don't
We're
think
over it.
those graphics look all that great. Like, I mean, like
They
obviously
did at the
they look
time.
great. Well, like on a
Yeah.
technical level they look great, but they don't seem like they're a fit for Zelda. And as much as I think like Twilight Princess is ugly, and it is, um like the screenshots look horrible for the game, particularly the HD, which is like somehow it should be impossible for HD to look worse than the original game. But I don't think that the Wii U tech demo graphics are like the right style for that either. Like I feel like if they ever remade it, you should just go like lean in, go all in, and go like full Tim Burton. Okay, do like the
Oh,
stop like
yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas style. Then it would actually
Yeah.
look cool.
When did that tech demo come out? 2004?
Uh, no, that was the reveal for Twilight Princess in general. The tech demo for the Wii U was E3 2011.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been 14 years. Get over it.
I
I
love
know.
this question.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, I'm sorry, I cut you off. Do you have anything you want to put a bow on?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I know that's something like that's a gripe that a lot of people bring up and are still hung up on, and I'm just kind of like, I'm over it. They're not gonna do it. Just move on.
Okay, you heard Al. Move on. Okay. Um, okay. What about this? This is from Jared. How did the cow heads get on the walls of Jabu Jabu's belly
Oh, from the Master
from
Quest or
Master
whatever.
Quest? Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Is it like, is it like a mounted head or is it a full cow where its head is sticking out?
No, this is like a mounted head sticking out, but it's mooing. So the answer,
Uh,
canonically, the answer is Jabu Jabu is just eating cows and maybe only half digested them.
I feel like canonically the answer is Link has been partaking in some substances.
Maybe that too. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the answer is like this is not canonical, so like just go with it. But I
Yeah.
love this question. It's great. Okay, one. Let's do one more here, Al.
Okay.
This is from Jeff. We'll end on this. Was bringing back the Virtual Boy a mistake for Nintendo Classics? And I'm going to summarize this question. People are complaining about this and being like, this is ridiculous. It costs so much money for NSO and for this peripheral, and you can't play them without this peripheral. This is where I'm just like, dude, cry me a river here, okay? Like, I'm sorry, man. You don't have to like you don't have to have NSO. You don't need to play the Virtual Boy games. If you don't want this, then like don't
Don't get it.
partake in it. Yeah, like um if there's an argument to be made, like should this have been made like quote unquote free for everybody to play, like yeah, maybe, but like I don't know, that's not what they did. And like I think like if you're disappointed that you can't play this, then like I mean I don't know what to say. Just get like the cheap cardboard version of whatever. It's like $20 and just experience it if you want. But I think like is it a mistake to release this? No. Like how many people missed out on the Virtual Boy? Tons of people did. I did. And like now for like 100 some bucks I can play basically every Virtual Boy game ever in the way that it was intended to be played, which is like significantly cheaper than tracking down a legit Virtual Boy and all of the cartridges. So I guess I'm coming at it from the lens of like a historian collector, but like, and some people are gonna take issue with like the $25 for the cardboard or whatever. But like, I don't know. To me, this is just like a get over it kind of thing.
Hmm. Um, this was definitely a question for you because do you want to know how many times I thought about the Virtual Boy since it was announced?
Is it more or less than one?
It's less than one.
Okay.
I am one of those people who's like, I will not partake in this. I do not care about it, and I'm like, I should amend that. I care that people are excited about it because when it was announced and you were so stoked, I was like, I was kind of taken aback because I was like, I have no idea what this is. So I was like excited for you because this was something from your childhood that you
Hmm.
were like excited to see announced. And for me, I'm like, that's really cool for you, but for me, I'm like, I don't know anything about it. I didn't know it existed. I'm not interested. So that's kind of one of those things where it's just like if you're not interested in a thing, like you don't have to gripe about it. Just move on with your life. It doesn't take very long to not think about things. So,
And to Jeff's point, like he's kind of coming at this from a modern like vantage point where we're talking about like some of the things that like the Virtual Boy doesn't do as compared to like Oculus Rift or
right,
PSVR. Like I think
right.
the point of this is to be like historical and see like this is
Yes.
this odd contraption that Nintendo made. It was a total flop. Like, but if you want it here, it's like playing the CDI Zelda games. Like, it's not
Yeah.
like they're no,
People
they're
are
not
thinking
great
this is
games,
supposed
but you
to
want the
be.
experience.
You're telling me that people are thinking this is supposed to be on par with the Oculus stuff.
I
They're
mean,
like, this is
I'm not
Nintendo
sure
games.
that
There's an
that's what this is
Oculus Rift or whatever.
insinuating, but yeah, I mean,
If
like
that's
there's
the case, people are just special. I'm so sorry, but like I it even I knew that this was like something historical. It's like if they took all the mechanics that you need and put for Four Swords Adventures and put it on the Switch online just so that people could play it instead of going to get all the mechanics that you need to play that game the old school way. Now they're taking this thing where you would need all these different mechanics that are expensive and they're putting it on NSO so that you could finally have access to it where you didn't really have good cheap access to it before. And I'm not saying it's cheap now, but it's like better, you know? They're giving people access to this thing from back in the day. Like, it's 100% for collectors and historical.
Yeah, even our boy Rod Lloyd, I'm gonna throw Rod under the bus here, but he's in this comment section being like, the way they've chosen to bring it back is absolutely a mistake. I'd rather just play the games on the screen. Like, that's not the point. The point is like experiencing it like Rod. It was. Well, Rod also was just like, I hate Nintendo Directs. I'd rather just an email with all the announcements and links to the trailers. So like, our man doesn't have. He doesn't like the razzle dazzle, but
I like the razzle dazzle, even if I don't care for half the crap that's in it.
Well, exactly. So like I mean, listen. If you're like wanting to play the Virtual Boy games, you don't need to go far or look hard to find a free way to play these, okay? And I'm just going to leave it at that. But like, this is for people that want to experience like what this like notoriously bad console was all about when it released in the mid 90s. Like that's what this is. It's like, why do people buy a CDI and buy Wand of Gamelon and Faces of Evil? Is it to play an Ocarina of Time's level quality game? No. Like, no. This is not what this is about.
I don't know. People just like to complain about stuff. It's getting really obnoxious. It's always been obnoxious. It's just every time it comes up, I just like lose 10 degrees of energy.
I've been complaining on this show for the last 8 years, Al, about various things.
No, not about stupid stuff like this.
Well, Malice.
Okay, well, yeah, that is stupid. But like... you know what I mean? Like, people just find something to be angry about that you don't really need to spend energy being angry about it.
Yeah. So Allison, you did such a good job on the intro this week.
Oh, I got nothing for you on the outro.
Oh, come on. Come on, no. Al.
I get literally every time I do an episode without you, I have to write it down and then like literally read it off of the sticky note in front of my face because you say so much and I can't remember all of it.
Ah, jeez. Okay, well, maybe we'll build up to that moment for future episodes. Okay, that's going to do it for us. Thank you to our writing team for giving us some fuel and some daily debates to talk about. Let us know what your final hopes for Age of Imprisonment are. If anything that we talked about that you feel like is off base, or maybe we're just like overanalyzing, overreacting to a certain subject, let us know. Join our Discord. It really has been a really good time to be part of that. Lots of conversation, lots of fun theories and all that kind of jazz. So yeah, check us out and give us a follow over on social. We're at Spiteri316, at Allison Aletha, at the Zelda Cast over on Blue Sky. Check us out wherever you get your podcast. Go like and subscribe and recommend and rate and review, all that kind of good stuff. Keep leaving comments over on Spotify as well. Appreciate everyone doing that and engaging with us there. Check these videos out over on Zelda Dungeon's YouTube page. We have the full-length video podcast if you want to go check those out. And we do stream these episodes every week over on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Zelda Cast. We have a Patreon as well, by the way, if you really want to take your Zelda love to the next level. We've got a ton of stuff over there for Zelda fans, Lord of the Rings fans, Metroid fans. So yeah, go check us out, patreon.com/spnet. And of course, check out zeldadungeon.net for all of the latest Zelda news and everything like that. A lot of our episodes are powered by Zelda Dungeon and its great writing staff. So make sure that you're doing that. That, my friends, is going to do it for us. So until next week, everybody, take care, and we will be playing Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. We'll see you then with our first thoughts.
Bye.
Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this clip and want to see more of the Zelda Cast, make sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform of choice and subscribe. There are over 200 episodes in the vault that will provide you with hundreds of hours of Zelda content for you to enjoy. You can listen to us when you're on a walk, fighting Ganon, trying to sleep, whatever. And if you want to see these shows as they happen, make sure to head over to twitch.tv/the Zelda Cast, where you can watch our beautiful faces talk about Zelda every single week. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.